Hi, everyone. Welcome. My name is Meredith, one of the educators for the mySewnet team. I'm so excited to be here today to go over creating an in the hoop zipper pouch using WordSculpt. But I'm going to give everybody just a few minutes to come on and sit down and get settled. Just a shout out to my team in the background, Ryan and Amy. They're here again today, sending me over questions, anything that you guys have questions on or would like to see again. Just type that in the chat and they'll get that to me. We are not asking for any personal information or anything, so please don't click on any links. They will get all that spam out of there quickly if it does show up. But yeah, everything real quick, just to let everybody know, everything I'm doing today can be done in mySewnet Gold and mySewnet Platinum. So just keep that in mind as we go. You can find more details about what each of them hold in the mySewnet website directly. Find out the differences between all of them there. But if you have questions, just let us know. So here's what we're going to be creating. These little in the hoop with the shape wizard zipper pouches. So I have one here that's just got one little ribbon on it and zipper, and it's fully lined and everything like that. And then I have one here, and I took the strap off. I'm not sure why. I'm sorry. I have two ribbons here and a strap, so it could be a little crossbody. So my daughter has already claimed this. She's 5, and she's like, Mom, when can I have that? So she will be getting this shortly. But this is what I'm going to show you how to do, how to add in the lines for the zipper, how to add the line for the different colors, all of that, the backing and everything. We're going to go start to finish with that. And to add on top of that, I'm going to go through actually stitching it out, because I feel like that's where a lot of the confusion can come from, is which order you're going to put your fabric, which way you're going to place it, things like that. So we're going to go through the entire thing from start to finish. So I'm going to switch over here to sharing my software. And I'm going to start out with, let me look over here. Hold on one second. I got to get my mouse moved. There it is. Okay. So we are going to start on the home tab here, and I'm going to make sure that I have a 360 by 200 hoop. So whether you select your specific machine and that hoop, or you can come down here and enter your size, we want a 360 by 200 hoop. So just keep that in mind. Then we're going to come up here to create and WordSculpt. And within this, it takes just a second to upload, making sure it didn't show up. Yep, it showed up on it. Oh, there it is. Let me find my mouse again. There it is. Okay. We are going to come up here to this drop down, and there are so many different shapes. I would not say that all of these would be great as zipper pouches. This butterfly would be kind of cute as one, but I wouldn't do like this cat or this bunny or anything like that as a zipper pouch. So we are going to go down and choose in food and drink this popsicle right here, popsicle 1. So we're going to select that. And because I have my hoop 360 by 200 selected, it's going to fill that space. So right here. So if you wanted to make a smaller zipper pouch, I had actually made it originally smaller, but I didn't like how small it was. I was like, I want to go bigger. So you can definitely change the size, the height, and the width of it here to what you would like. But I want to make it as big as I can make it, which would be the 360 by 200 hoop. So then what we're going to do, we are going to select right here a running stitch under stitch type. And then we're going to hit next. And normally with WordSculpt, you would have words in here, and we don't want any of those words. So we're going to take all of them out like that. And there's my shape. I was like, where did my shape go? I've got a little bit of a lag. So we don't want any words in here. So I just copied all of them and deleted it. And then we're going to hit finish. And there is our popsicle. And all it is a running stitch, and it fits just within the hoop area right here. So super easy, super quick. And we're going to change this color to a light blue. So I'm just going to come over here and just select a light blue, just like that. Okay, next we're going to add in our first zipper line. So this is going to be the placement line for our zipper. So what we're going to do, we are going to go up to the frame tab. So this is basically sort of like digitizing in a way, but we're doing it a backwards way so that those people that don't have platinum but have the gold can do it as well. So we are going to choose right here, motif underlay, and then we're going to do select motif right over here. And I'm going to choose Husqvarna Viking. But again, if you don't have a Husqvarna Viking machine, it doesn't matter. I'm just using these stitches within here. You can do it with the Husqvarna Viking. if you have another branded machine, whether that's FOF or any other brands that are out there. We're going to be under utility stitches. We want stitch number 1, which I already have selected, and we're going to keep all of this the same. So the height, width, basically once you select your brand and utility stitches, everything else that it selects up here for now, we're going to keep the same. And we're going to hit OK. We're going to come up here to this length, and we're going to change this to 190. And these are pre-done measurements that I already have, so you can make note of them or just play around with it until you get to the width that you need for your popsicle. I just know that 190 is going to get me just a little bit wider than what my popsicle is up here. So once I've done that, we're going to click outside of our hoop just to make sure we don't have that popsicle selected, and we're going to hit apply. And there it is right there. We are going to change this color to black. And we're going to come all the way down and just select black right there. And then we are going to rotate it 2 times just for now. We're going to end up switching it back eventually, but we want to work with it on a vertical line versus horizontal. So we are going to go to the View tab, and I want to change my size of my grid down to 9 because the next lines that I make my zipper tack down, they are going to line up with the grid lines that we have. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to just zoom into this little area that I'm working within right here. And with number 2 stitch, the stitch out this line that we created, we're going to duplicate that right here. And so now I have 2 of them. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here to the Encore tab. I want to have 2 of these. So we want to make sure we have line selected because we don't want it to go in a circle or a wave or anything. We just want a line right here. And then we're going to repeat it twice. So just move that number down to 2 right there. And then we're going to hit preview. And it's going to put it right back in the center over top of our zipper placement line we had. We're going to put our arrows over top of this white box, and we can adjust it in and out. And the reason we adjusted our grid size to 9 was so that I could line up this line exactly on this line. So just get it roughly right there. And what this has done is it has created 2 lines on either side, equally portioned and lined up. So once we do that, we are going to hit apply, and there they are. But when I stitch all of this out, I want it to stitch both of these out at the same time. And right now it's 2 separate steps. So what we're going to do, we're going to come up here to home. We're going to combine selected, which you can see right here. I was about to point to my screen like y'all could see what I'm pointing to. But this one right here, 3 and 4, and we're going to combine selected. So it's put those 2 together. We're going to color sort them because, again, if you still have 2 colors, it's going to stop after each color, and we just want it to do the entire zipper tack down at the same time. And then I'm going to change this to a light gray like that. So I've got my zipper placement line in the middle, and then I have my 2 zipper tack down lines right there. Is everybody following me so far? Everybody good? Okay, we are going to go to our top tack down piece. So if you're looking at me, really, we're going to go through this piece right here and how we tack it down in place. So we don't need a placement line because we are going to just line up our fabric along the top edge of the zipper. So for this one and this next one we do, we're not going to have a placement line. So it'll make sense when we go to stitch it out. So we're going to go to the View tab, and we're going to switch this to 6 millimeters now. Again, it's making our grids just a little bit smaller because we're going to go off of these lines now. And we are going to select this zipper placement line. I don't like doing double work. So if I've already created something that I know is going to be the exact same that I'm about to create, I'm just going to duplicate it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select that zipper line number 2 here, and we're going to hit duplicate, just like that. And then using my arrows, what we're going to do is we are going to scoot it over and line it up on this next grid line because we made our grids a little bit smaller. So we're going to line it up right there. If I can see right there. So that is our tack down stitch for our top piece. And that's on the right side over here is where we're placing that. And we are going to change that color to red. I'm not worried about, I'm going to do a dark red because we're going to do a couple different reds here. I am not worried about it lining up evenly up at the top because at the end, I'm going to show you how we can line all of those up proportionally and get them centered. So we can just leave it right there for now. And then we're going to go to our top down stitch. So it is this tack down stitch that runs across this top piece is what we're going to do next. So this one, I want it to be a running stitch, not a regular just straight stitch. So this first one, if you look here, this is 70 stitches right here to do this line. I basically want to do a reinforced stitch over top of that. So what we're going to do, we're going to come back up to the frame tab up here. We want motif underline, which is already selected, and then we're going to select motif. And everything that's here is going to be the same, except we're going to choose triple stitch. So that's basically just stitching back on itself to give you that reinforced stitch look. So that's the only thing we're going to do there. And we're going to hit OK. And then we're going to make sure we're clicked outside of the hoop and click apply. Just like that. And it's horizontal, so we want to rotate it twice so that it gets it in the same line. And then I'm going to use my arrows to fine tune. And we want to move this just to the right side of that zipper. So remember that zipper tack down, that gray one we did right there. We want it just to the right of that zipper tack down right there. So we've got our zipper line, our grays, our zipper tack down, and then we have our tack down for our top piece, and then our reinforced top stitch for that red piece or for that top piece. And I'm going to change the color of this also to a lighter red, just like that. So again, if you have multiples of the same color, they will sometimes combine within once you send them to your machine and things like that. So I just like to make each step a different color. That way I'm not going to have any errors. So just like that. And then what I want to do now is we are going to do these bottom two for this, or for the middle piece here. We're going to do the same thing. We need the tack down and then also the reinforced top stitch that we have here. So again, I don't want to do more work than what I need to. So I'm going to select stitch number 4 and stitch number 5, which are those first two lines. I'm going to duplicate it, and then we're going to rotate it. We're going to hit that 4 times, and then we're going to use our arrows and push it over below our zipper. So just like this. If anybody has any questions or you're not following or you need me to do something one more time, just let me know. So just like that. And we're going to change those colors because we want them to be separate. So for this one, I'm going to do yellow. I'm going to do a dark yellow and then a light yellow. Just like that. So again, we don't have them all lined up yet, but this, oh, did I have the wrong one selected? Hold on one second, guys. No, that's right. Okay. So the first one again, this one here is our zipper tack down, or I'm sorry, our zipper placement. Then our 2 gray are zipper tack down. Then this one, number 4 on the right side here is our tack down for our top piece. We're going to flip the fabric over it. This will all make sense once we go through stitching it out. Then this next one here is going to be our top stitch to hold it in place. And then the same thing for 6 and 7, but for our middle pieces. So now what we're going to do, we're going to align all of these lines. So I want to select all that I have here. And what we're going to do, we're going to come up here to alignment, and we're going to do vertical and align to the middle. So if you watch, I'm pointing to my screen again, like y'all can see me. If you watch all of these little squares where they end, they're going to be all lined up here in just a minute. I'm going to hit align to middle, just like that. And now they're all lined up. So you don't have to worry about, you know, finicking and getting them just right. With the alignment feature here, you can do that all there. Then what we're going to do, I still wanted all that selected. We are going to rotate this and put it into place. So we are going to hit the rotate button. Let me see. We're going to do it 6 times because I want it to come all the way back around to the top. Actually 4. I'm sorry. I was right on 4. Because the red were what we did first and then the yellow were next. Then I'm going to move this whole thing up here. We want it 15 grid squares down from the very top. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I want it lined up right there. Just like that. And so there we go. There's our first little bit, all of this done right there. Any questions so far? Y'all doing good? Y'all are being quiet out there. So if you have any questions, just let me know. All right, we are going to move on to the bottom, to the middle. So we did that. So the bottom piece. So this would be this one next. The placement, tack down, and top stitch is what we're going to do next. So we are going to go to the View tab, and I'm going to change my grid back to 9 millimeters here. And then we are going to select stitch number 2, which was this one here. So again, we're going to use what we've already created, so our zipper, and we're going to duplicate it. There it is there. We're going to center it to our hoop. And then using my arrows, I'm going to move it down 1 grid. So what this stitch is here, this is the placement stitch for the bottom piece. So like the green piece I have here. This is the placement stitch. So we don't have any fabric down yet, but this is just our guide for where we're going to line it up. Where on the top 2, we used our zipper as our guide. So then next what we're going to do, I'm going to change this to a dark green. A dark green, and then we are going to duplicate it. So now what we're going to do, our fabric would be placed down, and we're going to sew that fabric into place. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate it, center it to my hoop, and I'm going to use my arrows and move it just about halfway in my grids right there, just like that. And I'm going to change this color to a medium green. And then we are going to go to our top stitch for that last one. So I'm going to choose number 7, which was this one here. This was our top stitch reinforced stitch that we created. So that triple stitch that we created in the frame tab. I'm going to duplicate that. I'm going to center it to my hoop. And this time I'm going to use my arrows and move it just below the placement stitch. So the first stitch we did was the placement. So just right below it, just like that. So I've got 3 lines here. I'm going to change this one to a light green. Just like that. So I have 3 stitches here. I have my placement line stitch, I have my tack down stitch, and then I have my top stitch there. So what we're going to do, we are going to select all of these, and we're going to duplicate them again. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to group them just for a short time so that I can grab them. If I can get them. Oh, hold on. If I can find. Move this over just a second. It's hard sometimes to find that little arrow to grab it. No, come on. Let me combine these for a second and see if that, there we go. So now I've got my 4 arrows and I can move it down. We are going to line this up just above the bottom of our popsicle right here. So this is going to be for the brown part of the popsicle stick, and we're going to, it's in the order already that we have it when we duplicated it. So this first one here, let me ungroup them. Or actually, and combine them here. Let me try this again. Hold on, we're going to back up just a second, because I want y'all to be able to see them all. You're not going to let me. Let's see. Ungroup for a second. Got these last 3. We're just going to group them for now. And combine selected, because it's just easier to show y'all that way. All right, so there we go. And what we're going to do, this first stitch here is going to be our placement stitch for our popsicle. So we're going to do a dark brown there. This next one is going to be our tack down stitch. We're going to do a medium brown. And then this last one is going to be our top stitch. So I'm going to do a light, let me find a light brown here. Just like that. So there we go. So again, I'm not doing any extra work. I already have what I needed created. So just use what you already have, duplicate it when you can. There's no need to have to go through frame each time to recreate those lines or to encore or anything like that. So I hope everybody's following along so far. Doing good here. So let me back up here so y'all can see this. We've got our zipper lines, our top lines, our middle bottom lines, and then our popsicle stick. So next what we're going to create is the those side ribbon stitches. So like I have one on this one, just as a little, you know, a little ribbon to hold it when you're zipping it and unzipping it. And then for this one, if you wanted to make a little crossbody, there would be 2. So we're just going to go ahead and make 2, but you only have to put down 1 ribbon at a time if you want. So what we're going to do next, we're going to come back up here to frame, and the same process that we did for creating our zipper tack down where we separated those 2 lines is what we're going to do for this step here. So for the frame, we are going to, again, make sure motif underlay is selected. Select motif here, and we want to switch this. Yep, I'm still at a triple stitch here, which is what we want. So we're going to hit OK, and we're going to change our length to 20. And then I'm going to select outside of the hoop and click apply. So there it is. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to rotate this twice so that it is vertical, just like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in here so y'all can see this line. So we're going to go to Encore. We want to make sure we have line selected, repeat 2 times, and then preview. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to grab this little box again and separate it. And I just want it just outside of the outline of the popsicle that we have there, just like that. And we're going to scoot this up right up here, because we want this lined up with our zipper here, just like that. And it doesn't have to be exact. It's going to be on the inside of your bag, so you're not going to see it anyway, like on the inside of your pieces. So once you've got it where you want it, we're going to hit apply, and there's our 2 lines right there. But they're just grouped. They're not together. We want to put them together because I want it to stitch out both of those at the same time. So we're going to do combine selected, color sort, so we just have 1 stitch right here. And then we're going to change this to an orange, just like that. So that's just 1 stitch there. All right, last little part. So now we're coming to the end. What we're going to do now is we are going to do our outside zigzag stitch where we put on our backing and our lining and all of that. So I want to make this a little bit bigger so y'all can see this. We're going to come back up here. And again, I'm not going to do double work. So I'm going to duplicate this popsicle that we have here and put it all the way at the end. We want to center that just like that. And then I'm going to change that color. This one, I have a specific color just because you'll see in just 1 second. 25, 27, which is soldier blue. And then we're going to come up here to create again. We are going to choose WordSculpt. Wait for this to pop up. And we already have our popsicle and everything selected here. This time though, I'm going to select my triple stitch, or I'm sorry, not my triple stitch. We are going to select the motif stitches here, but I don't want stars. We don't need stars. So, I mean, if you wanted stars, you could do stars, but we're going to do a zigzag. So I'm going to go back to Husqvarna Viking, utility stitches, and I'm going to select stitch number 3, which is just a zigzag stitch. I want to deselect proportionate, and I'm going to change my height to 5 and leave my width at 4, and everything else is the same. Running stitch here, not a triple stitch, and click OK. And there's our little zigzag stitch. So it's kind of like a serge stitch, so that you're not, when you cut your little zipper pouch out, your fabric's not going to fray. We're going to hit next. Make sure we don't have any words selected, and then hit finish. And there it is. Let's make sure it's in the center of our hoop, just like that. There we go. And then I'm going to put these 2 together. The reason I wanted this first one as a certain color was so that it did both of these stitches at the same time. So I'm going to combine selected and color sort. So now that second runaround stitch and the zigzag stitch we did are going to be done all at the same time during our process. So any questions? That's how we did it. It definitely did not take me 24 minutes to do this originally when I was creating it. It did take some trial and error, so please have the expectation that it can take a little bit longer. Let me remove this here so y'all can see me. But because I'd had everything all ready for you guys, I took some of the work out of it. So now what we're going to do, we are going to actually stitch it out. So I have already, let me switch over here. I have already stitched out my my placement, that first big popsicle stitch, and my zipper placement line here. So what we're going to do, I'm going to switch cameras. We're going to come over here. We are going to put our zipper along this line. So you want the zipper right in the middle of that line. And I just use painter's tape right here. And we're going to tape it down to hold it into place. There's two pieces here. So this first one, I'm going to just look at and make sure that I'm lined up right here. And we're going to tape you into place just like that. I'm actually going to switch this. I want my zipper to be on this side because I'm going to put my tab on this side. So line that up right there. Tape that down, and then we're going to check that this one is lined up also, and tape that into place. Just like that. Super easy. All right, we got a lot of switching and backing and forth today. So now what we're going to do, I'm on stitch number 3 now, which is going to be my zipper tack down stitches. So it's going to start here at the bottom, go across, and then back up. So what we're going to do, what I love about our machines is that you can use the foot pedal instead of the press start and stop, so that you can make sure that it's lined up and going where it wants to go. I see one question, I think. Just 1 second. So just a straight stitch all the way across. And then what it's going to do, because we made this all into one, it's going to come up and go back across now. And you're not going to see these stitches. Our fabric is going to cover this up, so you just get it as close as you can. Just like that. Are you just, yes, I'm sorry. I didn't even talk about that. 1 second, y'all. Thank you. Did not talk about stabilizer. I'm sorry. I'm using a no-show mesh stabilizer. It's going to be on the inside, so you don't want to use tearaway because you won't be able to get it out. You could use a wash away if you wanted to. I'm just using a no-show mesh for this one today. Thank you. Good question. And just a normal embroidery needle and normal embroidery thread. Good questions. So let's switch back over here. So now what I'm going to do, it did my first one there. And now it wants to do my top piece tack down stitch. So we're going to cut our thread. We're going to come back over to this one so I can show y'all how I do this. We're going to put these, it's going to flip back up is what we want it to do. So we want these right side down. And the reason we did not do a placement stitch is because we want it, because we're going to line it up with the top of our zipper here is what we're doing. And I'm actually looking at this. Bear with me here. I don't like how close that is there. We're actually going to take this top one out really quick because I'm worried that if I do my next stitch, my zipper shifted on me a little bit. So I want to shift this down just a little bit. So that's what's nice about if you just do a running stitch, is that if your zipper isn't centered where you want it, you can just cut it out a little bit and make those adjustments. So we're going to make those quick adjustments, and I'm just going to tape it back into place just for time's sake today, because it's going to get stitched down once I do my other lining here in a second. Come on. It's like a basting stitch, basically. It just comes out super easy, just like that. All right, so we're going to retape this and get it lined up there. And this top one too. Not get that one. There it goes. The joys of live TV here, y'all. There we go. So now what I'm going to do for time's sake, we are going to put our top piece down and we're going to line it up with the top of our zipper. Just make sure there's enough on either side here. And then we're going to take our batting piece and line that up on top. And we're going to tape this down as well. So just like that. And just like that. And then what we're going to do, we're going to flip this over. And we're going to take our lining piece. And we want it right side down because once we do our tack down stitch, we'll be able to flip it back up. So we're going to line it up with where our zipper is right there. And we're going to tape this down. Just like that. There we go. And now we're going to put this back on our hoop. Or back on our embroidery arm, not our hoop. So when you do this, you want to make sure that that fabric underneath is not folded up. I mean, you could put a piece of tape in 4 corners. I just did it on both sides. But I can check that it's not folded under. There we go. Okay. So now what we're going to do, we're going to do our placement, or our tap down stitch all the way across here. And I just sort of hold it in place as I go, making sure that it's lined up. All the way across, just like that. I'm going to cut that again because it cuts our top thread, but unless you hit the scissors or have a cut in there, it won't cut the bottom. So we're going to switch back over here. I told y'all lots of switching back and forth today. So look, there that is right there. Then what we're going to do, we are going to flip. Let me get this tape off. There it goes. We're going to flip this upward now. And we're going to tape it back into place. And this is going to stay taped into place until the very end. So just like that. So you want to make sure that's taped really good. Those corners are taped down good there. We're going to take this off here and this one off here. And you can leave this bulk of batting here. I don't want to. I don't want that much bulk there. When you layer that, it'll be 2 layers. So I'm not cutting my fabric. I'm just cutting off. This is just a personal tip preference of mine. I'm just cutting off this little bit of batting so that it's not too bulky right there. Then what we're going to do, we're going to fold all of this back just like that. And you can tape it into place if you want to, but I'm going to be standing over there with it, so we'll be good. We're going to hold you in place too. So just like that. All right, switch back over here. Now we're going to do our top stitch over top. So this is that reinforced stitch that we created. Like that, reinforced stitch all the way, our top stitch all the way across. We're going to cut again. And now we're going to do our middle piece. So again, we didn't need a placement stitch because we had our zipper in place. So now what we're going to do, we are going to take our next pieces. And I'm going to send this design and these step-by-step instructions for stitching out to the mySewnet Studio team, where they will have all of the measurements and everything for your fabric that you need as well. So we're going to start with the back piece first here. So what I'm going to do, this will be my bottom back piece. So we're going to flip this over. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this right side up the same way we did with our top piece. Line it right side up right there. We're going to tape this down. There it goes. Just like that to hold it in place. And this is going to stay this way just for a minute, and then we're going to end up flipping it back here. So I hope this is all making sense so far. If you have any questions, just let us know. So I have my middle piece, my blue piece here. I'm going to line it up just along my zipper line. And then I'm going to take my batting piece. And you're going to notice that my batting and my backing are bigger than this piece because I've got my layers. But this batting and this backing piece fit the entire length of our zipper pouch. So we're going to put this right here over top, just like that. And you can tape to hold that in place. But for time's sake, I'm going to not tape it here for now. I'm going to switch back over here. And this is where you really want to make sure that your under bottom piece is flipped out and that the front piece is not flipped also. So just like that. I'm going to switch my thread here because when I do my top stitch, I want it to be I want it to match. I want it to be a blue thread. I don't want green on top of my blue fabric. So let's switch that really quick. Just like that. Okay, so this is going to be our tack down stitch first here that we have. We're going to just hold it in place. Just like that. We're going to cut that again there. Thread out, and we're going to come back over here. And for this one, we're going to flip this down just like this, but we're also going to flip the back down just for a minute because I wanted to have that top stitch on the back side as well. So I'm going to save those pieces of tape, just flip this down and tape them into place right here. We're going to flip it back in just a minute and it'll all make sense, I promise, once we're done. So we'll hold this one into place when we get over there. Oh, wrong one. So now what we're doing is our top stitching over the blue piece. So just like that. Hope this is all making sense along with what we created in the software. Super easy like that. Now we are going to cut our thread there. Take that out. And then what we're going to do, switching again over here, we are going to fold this back. And the reason we're folding this back is because now we're going to have all of those lines. And I don't want to see that in my lining. Yes, it's in your lining. You could definitely keep this the way you have it now if you wanted to. But I'm gonna fold them back. But when we get to the end, we will fold this back down. So I'm gonna tape this into place up here so it's out of the way. And so now all of that stitching will be on the inside and I won't see it inside of my bag. So just like that. So now what we're gonna do, we are going to do our placement stitch for the bottom piece. So remember we had our zipper to line up with before. But for this one, we don't have that. So we want a placement stitch. So I'm going to switch to my orange yellow color because that's what color fabric I have next. Thread. Y'all are getting a good look at me threading this guy today. There we go. So this is our placement stitch for our next piece. And it's just a running stitch. Like that. And you can leave this on your hoop if you want to, or on your arm if you want to. I'm going to cut off this excess fabric I have here. Just kind of like an applique. I'm just going to cut this off. Because I don't need all this extra under there. Just like that. And then what we're going to do is we are going to put our fabric, our batting, right side down, and we're going to line it up with that line right there, like that. And this next stitch is going to be our tack down stitch. Just like that. Super easy. And then we're going to fold this guy down so we have our top stitch on top of this now. Oh, I think I just lost my thread. Cut too short there. And I'm going to make sure I'm back at the beginning. There we go. Oh, I went back too far. Sorry about that. I went back one too many stitches, so it took me back to the end. There we go. I wondered why that was off a little bit. So this is our top stitch, our triple stitch, just a little decorative stitch on top next. If you have any questions, just let me know, or if I can explain something better for you or anything like that, or hopefully it's all making sense and I'm doing a good job explaining it all to everybody. All right, and lastly, we are going to have our placement stitch for our popsicle sticks. I'm going to switch to my brown thread. Same process we did with the blue, where it's stitched on top of it. We're going to let it stitch on top of our orange and then just trim it down. Just like that. So this is our placement stitch, which again, it's tacking down, which is nice. It's kind of a double duty stitch now. So same thing that I did with the blue, I'm going to trim this orange down just a little bit because I don't need it. Just like that. And then we're going to take our popsicle stick fabric, our brown, and place it right side down on top of the orange, just lining it up right there. And this is a tack down stitch now. Now what we're going to do, we're going to flip it over so that it does our top stitch, our reinforced stitch. There we go. So now what it's going to do, we are going to do our ribbon, or I'm using twill tape tack down here. But this is where I always forget that I have my backing up on the back still. So we're going to cut this really quick. And I'm going to switch over here to show you. So again, now I don't have all of those stitching lines on top of my lining piece. So now I'm going to take my lining piece and put it back down here. And look, I hid all of that stitching that I just did. We're going to tape this back down. And now we're going to do our little ribbon stitches here on the side. So, and then also, here's the other thing people always forget, and I haven't, when I've done this so far, knock on wood, is you need to undo the zipper at this point, because I'm going to put my twill tape here and it's going to do a reinforced stitch to hold this down. So we need our zipper on the other side of it. So I just unzip it over. And then I'm going to line my twill tape up with the stitching lines that I have there. Just like that. And I just put it in the middle. You can tape it down, or you can just hold it in place just right there. Oh, yep. I hit it. And I bent my needle. So y'all get to see me. This happens real life right here, y'all. Of course, I didn't do it at all during when I was making all my samples, but you're going to get to see me change out my needle now. All right, so we're gonna switch out. Thankfully, my needle did not break, just bent. Let me show you all that. Look at that. Right there, but that's all right. It happens. And we're gonna put on a new needle. Give me just a second here. Make sure our thread is out of the way. And if you are using a smaller zipper, so like on one of the other samples that I made, I used a smaller zipper. I made sure to take out the metal stoppers on my zipper so that I did not hit them. And I made sure to have where did I put my screwdriver? I made sure to have a larger zipper so that I didn't have to worry about that, and then I still end up messing up my needle. So let's rethread this here. Again, the joys of live TV. There we go. So I'm going to, I must have hit something here. I'm going to roll my needle a little bit down. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure I was good there. I'm going to use my presser foot to finish. Oh, see, what am I hitting here that's doing that? This is not a metal zipper. Well, it'll be all right. Once we get done, it will do a zigzag around it and hold it in place too. Well, that one actually broke that time. There we go. Hope y'all don't mind watching me change my needle multiple times today. You know, I've never, knock on wood, before today, I've never had a needle break when I was live. I'm not sure why today is any different. Get another one on. This is why you get one of the 100 packs of needles for when things like this happen. Squeeze my fingers in the way for a second. All right. Thread this guy again here. All right, let's see. What are we doing here? Oh, it didn't thread. Hold on. Where'd you get caught? There you are. There it goes. All right, let's see. What are we hitting here? There's nothing there. I wish it would move. Let's try one more time. Let's see, and this is why you can use your presser foot. I'm sorry, your foot pedal. You can do it and go a little bit slower. There we go. And it's going to come over here and do another one. So if you had two, we're going to stop here. If you had two, if you wanted to make this into a little crossbody, you would put your second one here. But since I'm not doing that, I'm not going to worry about stitching that part up for now. Looks like I got one question. Let me check out that question real quick. Yes. Somebody said use your foot pedal and go over it. Yep, and that's what I did this time. But again, I've made 3 of these before today and had no issues. So I'm not sure what's up with this. Must just be an extra strong zipper for today. So next what we're going to do, we've got, if you have 2 tapes down or 1, we've got those down. We've got our zipper open. Again, you want to make sure your zipper is open because at this point, if you don't have it open, you're about to cover it up and you won't be able to get it open. So you want to make sure your zipper is open at this point. Then what we're going to do, we're going to have our lining and our backing. So I have a full piece lining that is the entire length of my popsicle. I have a piece of batting, and then I have another piece that will be my backing. So I'm going to put those, again, I have them right side down. You'll see this right here, right side down. Then my line or my lining piece, form a natural, and then right side up. And we want to line it up. You want to make sure that it's lined up. Let me take this off so y'all can see that it goes all the way to the bottom of where our popsicle is going to go. Because if not, and you didn't cover it, then you're going to be sad that your popsicle has a hole in the bottom of it. We're going to make sure again that our pieces on the bottom and top are taped into place. Just like that. And then you can look up here too to make sure your pieces are going to go above your stitching as well. Double check one more time. Move this up just a little bit. It's better to make those adjustments now than have it all stitched out and have to redo it. So there we go. Now we're going to be on to our outline stitch again that goes all the way around. And I'm going to change this to a green just because you will see this on the inside and I really don't want to see brown. So we're going to switch to our green really quick. And I'm doing good on time, y'all. I thought I would be going over. I thought this would take a little bit longer to do the stitch out and everything, but we're doing good. Okay, so first what it's going to do, it's going to do that outline that we did. And it's going to go all the way around. And you just want to make sure that your fabric is smooth as it goes so that you don't have any puckers. Y'all, what is going on today? Why, Amy, why can I not go through this zipper? It's the same as all my other zippers. And it's not a metal zipper. I don't understand, y'all. This is quite embarrassing for today. Where are my needles now? We're just going through needles today. Again, I had no issues before this. I don't know why it has to be difficult today. So I'm going to use my presser foot and we are going to, or my foot pedal, I'm sorry, my foot pedal, and we're going to do it that way. There we go. I think I'm already past it. Yep, there we go. So. Just keep going all the way around. Making sure everything is smooth and flat. I'm coming up on my zipper. I'm going to slow down here before I get to it. And I'm actually probably going to stop there. Cut that, just because I know y'all don't want to see me change my zipper again. We are going to just advance our couple stitches and get to our zigzag stitch to avoid this. There we go. Okay. So now it's going to do that zigzag stitch all the way around. Just like that. I don't know why I'm holding my fabric in place. It's already held down, y'all. Just have it. And I'm coming up to my zipper up here. I'm going to stop here just again. So y'all don't have to see me do this. I'm going to come back through this once I'm done. And I will use my sewing machine and go over this one specifically. I guess the zipper just wants to be difficult today. And I just got this from my local craft store. And it was the same as the other ones I used, the blue and the teal one. But those who have done in the hoop zippers before know that normally machines can go over them with no problem. So not sure what the deal is today. And I want to get at least this part done so that you can see, so I can show you how I cut the back side out. So when you go to flip it. We're going to slow down right up here. And we're just going to cut. There we go. And then we are going to come over here now. And here it all is. So what we're going to do is we are going to, looking for my little thread snips. They're over here. This is when you can take it all out of the hoop now. and you would cut all the way around this popsicle. But what I'm going to show you is right here, you've got that no-show mesh. So if you just slide your pointed scissors up underneath, I'll make sure not to cut your fabric. Bring this up so y'all can see it. Slide all the way across and cut this stabilizer out. Coming up to where my zipper was. Hold on. There it goes. Just go slow and steady. There's no rush. Just like that. And then we're going to snip across and do the same thing back. Sort of hold it as you go. Put a little bit of tension on it so that it's not too loose on me and cuts a little bit easier. So just like that. So if we took it out of our hoop now and say we had cut all this out, then we would flip it around. And I'm going to show you one of my other ones already that I have over here. But I wanted to show you how I clipped my corners. You see how nicely these lay down? I wanted to show you how I clipped my corners down here so that you didn't have any puckering or anything like that in there. So you do have the raw edges, but because you have that zigzag, you're not going to have all that fraying. But what I did was I cut a little close to that zigzag line that I had there, and then I snipped right into the corner here. I snipped into the zigzag, but I did not snip into the original outline stitch that we did so that it holds it in place. And that's what will help you get those crisp corners. And then you just push it all back through itself and smooth it out all the way around. Get it? If you had don't have one with me. I've got one of my metal straws, but if you had a chopstick or something like that, that would be helpful right now. And then there you go. And that's how, let me get this corner out. That's how you get those good, clean, crisp, right edges, just like that. And it zips up. And you can add a little tassel or a little ribbon to that zipper so it opens a little bit easier, like that. Super, super easy and simple. All right. So are there any questions or anything else I can show you really quick? I've really enjoyed making this, for summer, fall and pops. When I originally started this, it was before 4th of July. So I was like, I've got to do some other ones too. So I hope y'all enjoyed this as well. Yes, thank you. It is a cute summer project. Again, my little one's going to love it. She loves carrying around purses with all her little knick-knack thingies in it. So it's a good size. I think it finishes, let me tell you, because it's not too big. I think it finishes, let's measure, 13.5 inches tall by 7 inches, give or take a little bit. So it's a good little size, but it's super cute, and you can do them all different colorways. You could even add on, I should have gone through this, Amy, I just thought about this, real-time thoughts. You could add a name, you could add a phrase or anything like that. So 4th of July, anything like that, you could have added in the software to do that. So we could do that in another live where I show you where to add it in into the design. But if you're good with software and that whole thought process, then add in a name or something like that would be super cute. So there won't be instructions for making the design because I've done it all here in the live for you. But the instructions for actually stitching it out and the design will be available on the mySewnet Studio in the next couple of weeks or so. I have to get it to them and they will get it uploaded. It wasn't something that was originally planned on their calendar. So I'm patient with them and I let them get it uploaded, our mySewnet Studio team. But the design will be up there along with the step-by-step instructions for actually stitching it out as well. So you will find that there shortly. But if you have the software, you can actually do a free trial of the software. And if you don't want to wait, you could create this design all by yourself. You could do the free trial of the software and watch the video and create it simultaneously with me and make one ahead of time. But if you do make them, we would love to see them. This will be a free design too. It won't cost you anything to get this design with the instructions. It'll be free on the studio. So there won't be a charge in that way. But if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat later on, or if something else comes up, I'm happy to answer all of that for you. We do check the comments for a couple weeks afterwards. But thank you. I hope y'all enjoyed this as much as I did. Our next mySewnet Facebook Live is going to be August 9th. So next month, August 9th at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central with Nikki Hudson. And she is going to be teaching all about draw and paint. So I think it's going to be a really fun topic. We talked about it recently, me and her. So I think it's going to be great. So I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day. And thank you again for joining me today. We'll see you next time.